Merry Christmas. Welcome to the Baseball Insiders. I got you some opening floodgates. I am Adam Weinrib, joined as always by Fansided's MLB Insider Robert Murray, and we are doing an emergency Friday show just before the holiday because we thought the Shohei Ohtani deal might open the floodgates. We thought the Shohei Ohtani deal might get the market moving. Yoshinobu Yamamoto wagged his finger and said, nope, I'm going to hold a couple of teams hostage and play my own free agency process out before any of that goes down. Turns out it's the Dodgers for him too. He will join Ohtani. The deferrals made it possible. Deferrals make the dream come true. And here to sort out the rest of the offseason from here with me, as always, is Robert Murray. How you doing, man?
I'm great. I'm sleep deprived, I got to admit, but the Yamamoto sweepstakes is over, and I can confidently say that the free agent market is definitely heating up. I have a couple things in my drafts, so that's always exciting. And yeah, we'll be diving into the Yamamoto stuff. We'll be diving into a lot of different things that this signing means for teams around the league. But I'm always stoked to be here with you, Mr. Adam Weinrib. And how are you doing, good sir?
I am doing just fine. We've got plenty for you today. Today's show is sponsored, as always, by Sleeper Daily Fantasy. It's also a good opportunity to join our Discord. It always is, but now is a perfect opportunity because, as the people who are already in the Discord know, we've been waiting. We've been sitting, waiting, wishing for the Yamamoto thing to resolve itself. It resolved itself in a major way last night at a price point that most teams probably could not afford. But now the dam breaks. We were hoping the dam was going to break a couple of weeks ago. But rest assured, Robert has made it very clear, hey, expectation is you're probably going to have to work on Christmas. So if you join the Discord now, if you join at the Rumor Mill tier or the All-Star tier, become a member of our YouTube channel. You can be there along for the ride. You can ask questions. Between shows, you can get your holiday information fixed because we go live again next Thursday. So obviously we are taking Monday off for the beautiful Christmas holiday. That's kind of how it goes. But if you are a member of the Discord, you could be with us all the way. Again, Baseball Insiders is partnering with Sleeper Daily Fantasy to give new users a first deposit match up to $100. The code is Fansided2. That's the number 2 when signing up to receive your deposit match. I see some Discorders in the comments here. I think they can vouch for how fun it's been to follow along during the process. And if you're at the All-Star tier, you can get on the private call with us. We just did our first one for December. Robert, it was pretty fun. We're going to do one for January again. And whatever you're comfortable with joining, turn your camera off, turn your camera on, talk out loud, type in the comments, whatever. We just kind of had a free-for-all, and it was very loose and enjoyable.
Yeah, it was very enjoyable. I had a blast with it. And plus, too, like with that one, I dropped some information. I dropped a lot of information that is not public. So you can definitely become very informed with that one. And then also in the Discord, I literally just dropped a signing in there that is not public. That is further incentive to go join. So I'll tell you, I've even yesterday, I told everyone the Yamamoto sweepstakes was coming down to the wire, and it was probably happening last night. So yeah, that's your way of becoming the most informed fan. But let's dive into this, Mr. Weinrib.
Absolutely. So you've been telling me for a little while that all things being equal, or at least somewhat equal, it kind of felt like early in the offseason, you didn't think it was possible for Ohtani and Yamamoto to land in the same destination. But as the offseason dragged on, you started to hear not only is it possible, but it's probably only possible in LA. Mass chaos yesterday as things are coming down to the wire. He's going to the Rams game with Ohtani. No, he's not. But it turns out they have a Rams jersey for him at the game anyway, and Ohtani is there. And the Rams are acting like Ohtani just moved to LA, even though he's been playing in Anaheim forever, and that's a whole separate issue. But the Dodgers blow up the market last night. The Yankees, Dodgers, Mets are the 3 finalists, as we'd been told for quite a while. The Yankees finish at 10 years, $300, higher AAV than both the Dodgers and Mets offers. But the Dodgers and Mets go with the same exact offer, 12 years of security, $325 million. Importantly, opt-outs after years 5 and 8. As I've heard, that can be triggered. I think that fella probably going to be opting out after year 5, but he gets to spend 5 glorious years alongside Shohei Ohtani. When did this, to you, first feel like something that could be a reality?
It's funny because the everything that I had heard during the regular season was that it was highly unlikely that Ohtani and Yamamoto would sign with the same team. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that it was going to cost what I thought at that point, probably 800 mil. I thought it was going to be a pretty high asking price here. I even thought probably less than that. But with the way that Ohtani structured his contract and with all the deferred money, that's when it became like a real strong possibility that they'd be able to go out and get a Yamamoto type, or they could go out and spend on some other guys. And throughout yesterday, it became pretty clear to me that it was either going to be the Dodgers or it was going to be the Yankees, and for an outside chance of the Mets. And the Dodgers, they wanted the player. It seemed like the player wanted to go to the Dodgers. And that's been something that I've heard throughout the offseason, or especially since Ohtani signed with the Dodgers, is that players wanted to follow Ohtani to LA. Like he's a huge draw. He instantly, like, they were obviously a World Series contender without him, but now that he's with them, they are absolutely a World Series team. And they're easily the favorites. They added Yamamoto, they added Tyler Glasnow, and to answer questions in the chat here, I don't anticipate them being done because they still need to get to me, they need to get some more starting pitching depth. And I think a guy like Lucas Giolito, who's been rumored there, I know the Dodgers had interest, but it could be tough to squeeze because everything that I've heard suggests he's probably going to get about $20 million a year. And I don't know if they have the budget for it yet, but I guess with anything with the Dodgers, you can't rule anything out. But what they've done so far is miraculous. This is probably the most stunning offseason in baseball history. And I've gotten a sense from a lot of people or a lot of fans in the National League, especially the National League West, that are frustrated with what's going on. I hear you, but this is basically baseball's version of the Golden State Warriors when they signed Kevin Durant. That's exactly what this feels like. And it is, it's stunning, and it's now reality. This is just an absolutely incredible offseason.
I do hear from fans who are frustrated, but like you said, it's not the first time this has happened in professional sports. Kevin Durant to the Warriors felt like this. A lot of people chastised Kevin Durant for joining a team that was already so stacked. And there's the MLB precedent isn't as plain as the NBA precedent, but man, it's not like that. You only have to go back to very recent history to see super teams joining up like this. And in baseball, it is so much more unpredictable. Who is going to ultimately get to the World Series and win it. The Dodgers failed spectacularly the last 2 years with stacked rosters. It doesn't surprise me at all that they said, okay, we're not going to just sit here and get to the NLDS again and get upset by an 87-win team without really trying to go, sorry, Red Sox fans, full throttle. And they go get Ohtani, they go get Yamamoto, they add Tyler Glasnow and extend him. There's a reason we're hearing names like Corbin Burns and Willy Adames and Emmanuel Clase in the comments, because why would they be done? You look at their projected rotation right now, and it's Yamamoto, Glasnow, Walker Buehler, of course, but then Bobby Miller, Emmett Sheehan, and you're one Glasnow injury away from Kyle Hurt being in there. Like, I can't help but think they do need another starter, and I can't rule out Corbin Burns.
I don't know if they go out and get Corbin Burns. That would make this just beyond the words insane. And you also, like, that's the thing, is you also don't know what Walker Buehler is going to look like, because he's coming off the injury too, and he's a giant question mark. And they really wanted to make sure that they weren't going to force him back last year, just because they didn't want to rush him back. They wanted to ensure that he was going to be 100% healthy for this year. But I do think like a Corbin Burns and a Willy Adames certainly make a lot of sense for the Dodgers. The thing is I don't know the budget there. And the Brewers just shedded $7 million, or a little bit more than $7 million off their payroll with trading Adrian Hauser and Tyrone Taylor to the Mets. That, to me, it showed that they ended up taking away some of their starting pitching depth, and it saved money. And I think that might be a little bit more further proof that Burns could be staying put. That's the indication that I've gotten from the start of the offseason. Obviously, things can change. Teams can become aggressive now, especially now that they know that they missed out on Yamamoto, or the Dodgers, the fact that they got Yamamoto, they could possibly try to go get another starting pitcher. I don't think Burns is going anywhere, but it's the Dodgers. They have a lot of prospects. They have a lot of money available. They won't sign him to an extension. That's not in Scott Boris's playbook here.
Yeah.
But I guess you can't rule anything out with that, but I think it's unlikely.
Let's talk through some Yamamoto losers as well, because look, we know the Dodgers are going to be good. It's just going to be a question of what happens to them when they make the postseason and how healthy they are, because they were stacked before Yamamoto showed up. They're stacked now. They have a 25-year-old ace coming over from Japan for 5, 8, or 12 years. They're good. We get it. But the New York Mets, I categorize these teams in two clumps. I feel like you can put the Mets and Red Sox together. This is just outsider's perspective. I feel like you put the Mets and Red Sox together and the Giants and Yankees together. And I say that because the Mets and Red Sox need pitching, but neither one feels like a 2024 contender now that they didn't get this centerpiece, and maybe they don't go quite so big budget. And then the Yankees and Giants feel like two teams that, look, the pressure is on the Giants. They got Lee this offseason and they're hoping for more. Maybe there's a Snell pivot in the books there. The Yankees get Juan Soto and they want him there long-term, but he's there for 1 year. So I don't think the Yankees can say, we tried our best. We based our whole offseason on Yamamoto, and now I think we're going to chill. Like, the Yankees and Giants feel like they have to keep going. The Red Sox and Mets feel to me like if they were to take a break, if they were to just collect depth, it would not be the end of the world. But I don't know if I'm reading that correctly.
No, I think you're reading this spot on. And starting with the Mets, I don't anticipate them shopping in the top or in the most expensive aisle of the starting pitching market. I think they're going to make, I would call a splash in the starting pitching market for the Mets pretty unlikely. I think they're going to go shopping in a different aisle. I'm becoming increasingly skeptical about the Red Sox spending big money in the starting pitching market. I know they've been connected to Jordan Montgomery in reports, kind of in wait and see mode, and I'll believe it when I see it kind of mode with that. But as far as the Giants and the Yankees here, I think they absolutely have to just continue putting their foot on the gas pedal. And Blake Snell to me makes so much sense for the Giants, and I think that is going to be the direction that they ultimately pivot to. I could also see a Marcus Stroman type making sense there for the Giants, and I will also say, I saw the report yesterday about the Angels being the Giants' biggest competition for Blake Snell. Saw the report. That to me felt like a leverage play. And I am under the impression, as of right now, that 7 years is going to be too much for the Angels. And I don't think that's going to be the direction that they go in. They have not had recent conversations with Marcus Stroman, but I know that's a player that they've talked to at some point this offseason. So anything can change, especially with Artie Moreno, because it all depends on how he wakes up that day. If he wakes up and decides, yeah, I want to go get a big free agent star, he's shown that he can and will do it. But as of right now, I think the Blake Snell connection to the Angels is overblown. And as far as the Yankees, I don't necessarily know how they're going to pivot. That's going to be because I don't think they're going to be Snell. I don't think they're going to be Stroman. I don't know exactly what direction they're going to pivot in here. And yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what Brian Cashman does. But obviously, like, they're not going to go out and sign someone for $300+ million. I think that was the only option there was going to be Yamamoto. Do they potentially explore a Jordan Montgomery reunion? I don't know. I feel like that's been reported somewhere, right?
It's been reported that they've explored it internally. I think it's a funny market for the Yankees because they're walking into a free agency. They clearly valued Yamamoto, but did not value him quite at the same level as the Mets and Dodgers, I guess, when all was said and done. That said, if he let the Dodgers match the Mets offer and he wanted to play with Ohtani, it seems pretty clear he would have let the Dodgers match the Yankees offer too. So I don't know why Yankee fans are out in the comments being like, you got to offer him $325. Well, he let the Dodgers match $325 because he wanted to go there. So maybe the Yankees offer him $375. He reconsiders, but it's pretty clear at this price point, he was going to LA. So now they're walking into a free agent pool featuring two guys who hate them. Jordan Montgomery, they uprooted him and his wife the day after she started a program at, a New York medical center and said, we don't think you're a playoff starter. We're trading you to St. Louis. Brian Cashman's really going to go apologize to Jordan Montgomery and say, Sorry, that was a year ago. Things have changed. Now we love you. Ignore the fact that we were trying to offer $300 million for Yamamoto. You were our plan A all along. Like, okay, man. And then Marcus Stroman, per reports, wanted to be a Yankee at the deadline when he was traded to the Mets. Unconfirmed, but people indicated he maybe not threw a temper tantrum in the Blue Jays locker room. That's still unconfirmed, but his dad said he was a childhood Yankee fan. He was hoping to go there. He denied it. He said, I was always a Mets fan out on Long Island. Who knows? But either way, he's been taking shots at the Yankees for 3 years, saying like, oh, they don't have pitching. They don't have anybody behind Cole. And he's not wrong, but he sort of made it his mission to take shots at the Yankees. So the Yankees need pitching depth in that Montgomery Stroman tier. And I would say both of those guys make very little sense for the team as currently constructed. I wonder if it's Frankie Montas and a name we're not hearing at all, but that's sort of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair assumption. I know Frankie Montas is actually, he's getting quite a bit of interest. He's had a pretty strong market this offseason. To my knowledge, nothing is close, but yeah, the Yankees, to me, they have to add another starting pitcher. I don't think that's really up for debate. And I'm going to interrupt this part of the show with 2 minor league deals. Let's do them.
Let's do them.
Lewin Diaz and Travis Blankenhorn are both in agreement on deals with the Washington Nationals. So we have a Baseball Insiders update for you there. I know everyone's wondering what the Nationals are up to, and there you go. That's what they're doing. So
I'm wondering how Steve Cohen let Travis Blankenhorn go to a divisional foe. That feels like, come on, flex your muscles, Uncle Steve. What are you doing? Blankenhorn was right there, and you let him go to the Nats. I don't know. I don't believe in this guy.
No, I'll tell you. But okay, so I'm seeing this comment here from Joshua Harris about the Angels, and I don't want you to interpret my comments as saying that they're going to not do much. They are going to do something. I feel very, very confident in that. Starting pitching market is absolutely something that they're eyeing up. Relievers, I've heard them connected to several different outfield bats. I am not able to say them publicly right now, but they would be meaningful bats. I will give you that. It's not Bellinger. I'll tell you that right now. It's not Bellinger. It's not a Chapman, but I've heard them connected to like some of the better bats in the market. I'll leave that one at that.
Sadly, we have left some of our Red Sox listeners and viewers sad. The Red Sox fans are populating the comments just saying, I am sad. Red Sox Stats is here, and he's sad.
Is he here?
Yeah, he's here. He wrote, I am sad at 12:31. So
wow. Hey, Red Sox Stats, big fan of you. I appreciate you watching like that. That's very kind.
This is the opposite clip. Red Sox Stats, we are both big fans of you. We just went viral for calling MLB Scoops a sucky bad account. Red Sox Stats, if you want to clip this and pin this tweet in the same way that they did, we would not mind. But you also don't have to do that. You're the man.
Yeah, no, I echo everything that Adam said. Red Sox Stats, you're awesome. We appreciate you. MLB Scoops, your account still sucks. So
MLB Scoops, you got it wrong, buddy. It's all good. Well, the floodgates are something that we theoretically will be opening in the coming days, whether it's Blankenhorn related or slightly bigger names. Who should we be keeping an eye on? Whose markets are now developing? It does still feel like it might be a really long time for Cody Bellinger. Just because there's so much like that's not dependent on the pitching market at all. And there are so many expectations to reset there. But who are you eyeing in the coming days? I think both you and I are going to have a pretty hectic weekend.
Yeah, so first of all, Henry, I can confirm Shelby Miller is going to the Tigers pending a physical. I think that might be announced today, but it'll be announced soon. But as far as the market's going, I think the markets to really watch are the starting pitching market and even the bullpen market. And I have had conversations with a lot of different teams, a lot of different agents over the last few weeks or last few days, I should say. And it's been basically as soon as Yamamoto goes, they're going to have a lot of clarity and they're going to be able to act accordingly. And now that Yamamoto's gone, like I could even sense some different markets were starting to pick up last night. And to my knowledge, none of the big names are imminent, but I think we could see some movement in the in some different tiers of the starting pitching market. in the bullpen market as well. I talked to some different people around the league who said that their indication from teams is that as soon as Yamamoto went, they got the indication that some other players are going to become immediate priorities. So I would expect both those markets to really heat up. And Gabe, you are asking the $1 trillion question here, the Yuki Matsui update. I have tried since these reports have surfaced, I have texted literally every single person who I think would have direct knowledge of this, and nobody is acknowledging it. And I have not gotten a confirmation. I have not gotten a denial. I do think it is really interesting that it's been the case for me. It's been the case for John Heyman. It's been the case for Jeff Pass, and it's been the case for Ken Rosenthal. All of us have been completely silent on it because I don't know. It is one of the more puzzling free agents that I can really kind of like recall. And the honest answer is that I don't know. I don't know if it's right. I don't know if it's wrong. I'm usually, I like talking from a case of like knowing what's going on. And in this case, it has been completely silent. And I'm wondering, why is that? So what is going on with Yuki Matsui? Yeah, that's pulling out the old Brian Windhorse there.
Could Yuki Matsui potentially be AI generated? Are we sure he is a real guy?
Sources tell Adam. Yeah, I don't know. Well, who knows? Who knows?
I might run with that one. Yeah, I might tweet that. I might tweet the Lewin Diaz signing too. I just have a field day on my Twitter today.
Yeah, I'll tell you, because I told Adam if he wanted to tweet it, he could, but I guess he didn't tweet it.
No, I didn't. I could have. I should have maybe. Well, we'll continue to watch that. Before we go, I do want to just address some specifics on the trade market and keep those questions coming. If there's anything else we can address, we happily will. I think obviously a burner asking about, does Roki Sasaki get more next year? I think he can't next year, right? If he comes over, he's coming over like Ohtani the first time, like an amateur. So I feel like I don't know if the money lines up if he comes in next year. I think you have to wait till 2027 for his team to get paid. I don't know, but that will take over next season. Presumably, we'll all be talking about that. Sure. I wonder about teams in the trade market. I still wonder about if the Padres have more work to do there. If the Ha-Seong Kim market starts to heat up a little bit as they try to replenish their system with assets. I don't know. What are you hearing on the trade market as well?
Yeah, I would say as far as the Padres, there's teams that are interested in Ha-Seong Kim. There's teams that are interested in Drake Cronenworth. And I guess you can't necessarily rule anything out there. And I do know that Bob Melvin absolutely loves Ha-Seong Kim. And I don't know if the Padres would trade him to a division rival, but if I'm reading the reports correctly, he is like best friends with Jung-Hoo Lee. I want to say that's accurate. I want to say that's been out there. But I think the Padres are going to be at the point where, like right now, it seems like they're pretty quiet. And that's been the indication that I've gotten from teams that have talked to them, or even some other agents that have talked to them. It's just that kind of quiet right now. And I think they're probably waiting out the market for some of these prices to fall. But it's very unusual for AJ Preller to be quiet at this time of the year. And again, I still have no clue if this Yuki Matsui thing is right, which is driving me nuts. So if any of my sources are watching this, please respond. That'd be very kind. But it's the
MLB Scoops. If you're here, drop us a line.
No, please do. MLB Scoops. Yeah, got them. Anyways, the trade market is, I'm sure, going to heat up, especially with the starting pitcher market, because it's a case now where these teams now know that Yamamoto's off the board. They can pursue a Corbin Burns. They can pursue Shane Bieber. They can go after Dylan Cease. They can go after Jesus Luzardo. They can go after a lot of these guys that are said to be like being talked about in trades. I don't think that full list of players are available by any means, but like they've certainly been had conversations about for sure. So I'd expect that part of the trade market to really heat up here in the next couple of days or next couple of weeks. I really do think that the market is going to go pretty berserk here for the next couple of weeks. And I've legit had, this is no exaggeration when I say this, I have had probably about a half dozen people around the league tell me, keep your phone out on Christmas and keep it out on Christmas Eve. And I think there's going to be movement. I am fully prepared for Christmas scoops, and yeah, it's gonna be pretty crazy. But I'm here for it because I think the offseason dam is finally up, and I think it's about to get going here. So that's always exciting.
Yes, I'm fully prepared for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I'm just glad that Yamamoto got himself out of the way so that now we can talk about plenty of other depth pieces and people who would be frontline moves in any other offseason. Now we finally get to move forward. I know I see Austin asking about the Pirates targets on the starting pitcher market. I know we're not sure of what that Jason Mackey reference is yet, but I guarantee you if you join the Discord, you will be in a community of Pirates fans who are all very united around chasing this exact same scoop. So if you join us on the Discord, we will certainly have more discussion of that first.
That is very accurate. Yeah, we have lots of Pirates fans in there, and they are currently leading the league in information among Pirates fans. I can tell you that. I am giving them the information that's correct. I have told people in the All-Star chat, I believe, who their top target is on the starting pitching market. Again, if you join, please don't leak because that is something that we can't have happen. But if you join, you will easily be the most informed fan in baseball. I can guarantee you that. And yeah, it's going to be pretty it's very active. It's constantly going. Like my phone buzzes constantly about it. I'm getting questions here from Marlins fans about Luis Ariz.
Yeah.
I want to just address this. It's like, to me, I don't consider a trade likely. I don't think it's like I would put it in the pretty highly unlikely category, but the indication that I've gotten is most Marlins players are not untouchable. I think Yuri Perez and Sandy Alcantara are as close to untouchable as it gets for the Marlins, and then anyone after that, if you make a good enough offer, then I think it's fair game. But yeah, I would not get your hopes up for an Ariz trade.
But there you go. I mean, if people asking about the Marlins trade market, yeah, it's going to open up almost certainly. Now is the time when everything is flooding down. I see some people in the comments right before we sign off asking like, hey, I'm a member. I'm struggling to get into the Discord or I don't have the link. Comment on the most recent video. So comment on this video, but not in the chat. Comment as soon as it goes live, mention that you need the link and our producer will come get you. Basically, you'll make sure you get in there. So we really appreciate new contract terms for Yamamoto during this conversation. Is that true?
I mean, Rosenthal ended up writing the opt-outs are in years 6 and 8, and then it's backloaded. King Source, why do you type in all caps? Curious.
Also, King Source asked before we went live why the delay. I'll clear that up. I'll clear up the mysterious delay. Robert was getting a haircut.
That sources confirm I did get a haircut and I wasn't able to style it in time, so that's why I'm wearing a hat right now.
And then after the show, I'm gonna get a haircut. So that's just a window into the world of the Baseball Insiders. We were not keeping a secret from you. We were not negotiating a last minute standoff between the Red Sox and Jordan Montgomery. We were just navigating two haircuts at the same time. So it is what it is.
No, exactly, and yeah, it's the year of the haircut because you got to look fresh for Christmas and. It's also my first holiday with my girlfriend and her family, so that'll be exciting. So I definitely got to look fresh for that one too. Yeah, it'll be crazy. It'll be a really good time, and I've already, thank God, they're a very understanding family because I've already told them there is a very good chance I'm going to have to leave at some point to answer a phone call. It is the year of the scoop. I am convinced of that, and yeah. As I said at the start of the show, I got a couple of them in the hopper. I got a couple of them in the drafts, and yeah, I would recommend staying tuned and also putting tweet notifications on for your boy because we will be leading the league in information and accurate information at that one.
Yes, we are pumped. I mean, I had to run upstairs and captain the Yamamoto scoop last night and write it up on multiple sites and captain our staff writers. And I don't want to do that during the holidays, but we got to, and we got to do it for all of y'all. So join us in the Discord if you haven't yet. We will be live again next Thursday. Time out before we sign off. Let's go.
So one thing too is I've seen people in the comments here asking about the Blue Jays. They have been active. They've been looking at both the free agent and the trade markets. There was a report this morning connecting them to Michael Taylor. That like they've been in contact with him, but nothing has changed over the last like few weeks in terms of that. So I don't know where that report came from, but nothing is imminent there. I would not read too much into that at all, because nothing there with Taylor is imminent. And yeah, that's the update I wanted to add there.
Nice. Happy to help everybody. Well, thanks for joining us. We hope we got as many questions out as we possibly could. We hope we gave you as much information as we could have. This is a super fun emergency show, and I hope that the floodgates really do break down. And if you stop by the Discord, you'll know first. I do feel like right before we sign off, let's just do Phillies, because we're getting a lot of Phillies comments, and Phillies Weekly is asking us if they're up to anything. We know they were lurking in the Yamamoto chase a little bit, and they didn't ultimately close that deal. But I would be heartened if I were a Phillies fan, knowing that they were involved, and probably more involved than the Red Sox.
Yeah, the Phillies were involved. And when it comes to star players, John Middleton, their owner, is always very active, and he's always wants to be involved, because I don't know if there's any owner in baseball, maybe besides the Dodgers at this point, who loves star players more than Middleton. And it makes me like, I don't anticipate them being in the market for some of the top guys in the starting pitching market anymore. I think Yamamoto may have been the exception. I do wonder, because we saw last year, their bullpen imploded during the playoffs, especially Craig Kimbrell in the 9th inning. If you add a guy like Josh Hader to that bullpen, do they make it to the World Series last year? Because if Craig Kimbrell was his normal self, like if he was good, I think they beat the Diamondbacks and go to the World Series. So I think a strong case can be made there that they should pursue Josh Hader. I don't know if they're in there, but I think if there's any big move that they can make, I think Hader is probably going to be it. And yeah, I think that might be. I think that might be one to watch. It's not any inside information. I want to clarify that, but that is just me reading the tea leaves.
I tell you what, the Dodgers going to Philadelphia in next year's postseason would be a pretty fun place for them to end up.
Yeah, that would be freaking bonkers. I'll tell you. I mean, let's say you have the 9th inning and it's Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman against Josh Hader. How freaking unbelievable would that be? That's ridiculous, but it would be awesome baseball. And I'm kind of rooting for it to happen, because I think that'd just be awesome. Yeah, just good times.
That's what I want. I want to send the Dodgers to a hostile environment, see how they handle things. If they're going to make the postseason anyway, that's my perspective as a baseball fan right now. Don't you want to give KD the toughest road after he chooses the Warriors? Don't you want to send him to Boston or somewhere like that where he could get eaten alive by the fans? That's what I want to see the Dodgers have to persevere through in order to capture this title that everybody sort of thinks is a fait accompli. We will see you right back here next Thursday, if not sooner, in the Discord. Again, if you need the link, comment on the video. Our producers will make sure to hook you up. Until next Thursday, have a Merry Christmas, happy rest of your holidays, enjoy some family time, and we will be the ones on the other end giving you the scoops. Take care, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. And as I said before, we got stuff in the hopper. Stay tuned.
The drafts are open. Bye, y'all.
Bye, everyone.